Good afternoon and welcome to Have a Chat. I'm Audrey Lynch with my beautiful co-star Judy Loge. Hello.
Welcome. You look lovely. I like your hair back like that, Audrey.
You do,
yes,
eh?
I do.
It's something a little different. I find it
very
makes
nice.
it look a little thicker and fuller, believe it or not.
Just nice. You have good cheekbones. It accentuates that.
Thank you so much. We want to welcome all our viewers to our show today. We've got a great, busy show lined up for them today, so you're not going to want to miss it, so definitely stay tuned. We're going to start off our show like we always do with a positive quote, Judy, and I think you come up with something for us today.
I managed to bring one up from Arthur Foreman, and it may have been said before in the past, but it bears repeating. My quote is, not everyone thinks the way you think, knows the things you know, believes the things you believe, nor acts the way you would act. So remember this, and you will always go a long way getting along with people.
That's so true, though. It is so very true. There's no two people think alike. Like, we'd all be robots if that was the case.
But sometimes we try to push our thoughts and our own beliefs on other people.
True.
We do.
Yeah.
And it's not the way they think. So if we get angry about something, we almost think, well, why aren't you angry? Well, maybe they're a calmer person that doesn't deal with anger the same way that we do. And
no, exactly.
It doesn't manifest into a hot flare of words or whatever have you. And they might just say, well, it doesn't bother me like it bothers you.
No, exactly.
But we expect them to react.
No, I know. That's
similarly.
Just it. No, very good quote.
I like it.
It'll
give some people something to think about.
Yeah,
that
definitely.
We have to be individuals and know that we are our own person and can't expect everyone to be always happy like us or sad like us, etc.
Exactly. Whatever situation may come up. Right. Everybody has their own reaction and their own opinions and thoughts. And once you realize that,
you let them be.
Yeah, that's just it. And everybody can get along. And be kind.
Yeah, or just on another scale, I will say something like, isn't that person beautiful? They might not find that person beautiful.
No.
And I should not expect them to.
No,
because
exactly.
I do.
There's no point in you getting your knickers in a bunch over someone not thinking and feeling the same way.
Exactly.
No, exactly.
So
words to live by.
About. Yes.
Definitely. I just want to say, Burr, it is absolutely freezing out this morning. Minus 27, I heard, and that's not counting the wind chill. It was well into the minus 30s. I have 2 fires up and roaring in my house since a couple of days ago. I'm like, we're definitely in the throes of winter. It is cold, and we got our first big, huge dumping of snow.
You're so funny, Audrey. When I told my brother-in-law in Toronto that we got 50 centimeters of snow roughly, or a bit past that, he misunderstood. He said 15? Wow. I said, no. Wow. 50. And he said, I don't know if I could handle that.
No, the snow banks and the dump of snow.
Storms, but not like we do on a regular basis.
No. Did you go out? Were you out in it at all?
No, and I couldn't even see out of our kitchen window, which normally you can at least look and assess the situation, say, should we get a plow this late in the evening? But we didn't dare. We weren't shoveled out for the next day.
I didn't venture outside, and then when the wind came up and started blowing it all around, it was a pretty scary sight. Like, definitely... Stayed in, and then when midnight I did scoot out to take a peek. It looked like it had stopped snowing, and the temperatures went way up. It got really mild, and we went out and started to dig out a little bit, and then before we were done, it started snowing again.
You know what's not fun is taking the dog out or trying to find a way out for the dog, because you can hardly even shovel out of your patio door where she normally goes out to do her business. It's just built up like this, and then it all drifts in the house, so we had to clear a path for her.
Oh, yeah, we had to do the same. I mean, you open up the patio door, and the dog looks out and goes, really? Really?
Exactly.
Not happening.
No, but I mean, it is... All in all, it's a beautiful day today because the sun's shining, there's no fierce wind, it's not storming, and if you dress warmly and appropriately, you can make the most of the day. I took the dog out for a walk yesterday. Mind you, it was freezing, but she had to have some exercise, and we did a brisk walk, and I just dressed accordingly.
No, exactly. That's just it. And because of all the snow, we have avid snowmobilers who've been dying and waiting for all this snow to get here, and now it's finally here. And so we do have a lot of snowmobilers out on the trails and out and about here in Miramichi. And we just want to say to Tom and Darcy, thank goodness you guys are okay. Yeah. Because they did have quite an accident over the weekend, and they were out on the river in a little sketchier area, and both snowmobiles, they were on separate snowmobiles, and they both fell in the water.
And we're talking about our city councillor, one of them.
Yes,
Tom King, his lovely wife Darcy, and they have 4 children.
No, and they're not new to this. Right?
No.
This sport. This is something they do know.
They love it.
They absolutely love it. So I'm sure just like all the other snowmobilers, as soon as they saw that snow, they couldn't wait to get out. And they were on separate snowmobiles. Tom was ahead of Darcy, but they both plunged into the water.
Well, she told me, because she's a friend and a friend to many, that she couldn't see him exactly where he was because it was dark, obviously.
Oh,
they both went down.
It was an evening.
So what happened was he submerged and was able to apparently get himself
out
up and over to her. And thankfully for Darcy, being sensible, she had one of those very well insulated body suits on, the snowsuits.
Right.
So she was able to keep her cell phone protected and throw it to him to call 911. And kudos to Officer Julie O'Donnell, who was the heroine.
Exactly.
She came to her rescue, and before the ambulance was able to arrive and police officers, Darcy said it was the most terrifying experience of her lifetime.
I can only...
She didn't ever expect that she'd see her 4 children again.
No, exactly.
She said, I really didn't.
No, I mean, 20 minutes in sub-zero temperatures. Like you said, she was wearing the proper gear for a snowmobiler in case of accidents and things like that. And thank goodness, because unfortunately, tragic accidents happen like this all too often in the winter months. And they are both very, very, very lucky. And for her to even not suffer extreme side effects from being in that water for 20 minutes, that is a long time.
A long time. And your mind's just going and going, plus you're freezing. And so with hypothermia, obviously, she was admitted to the Region 7 hospital overnight. But the next day, she said that family and friends came and they hugged their children and said, oh my gosh, we're so thankful and grateful to God that we're saved, and to all of these rescue teams.
Oh, yes, exactly. Because she's in a dangerous situation. And in order for them to be able to get in and rescue, they have to put themselves at risk.
I know. So she's
and who
forever
does
grateful.
that?
No, she and Tommy, we're wishing you the best.
Definitely.
And so thankful that you
Thank
know that
you.
terrible, traumatizing situation.
Yes.
Please be careful to all the snowmobilers.
Yes, exactly. This winter season, that's our main message with this story, is that when you're out there, enjoy the weather, enjoy your snowmobiles, but
watch the water, because it often takes, even though it's very, very cold, we have our thaws, and to build up the ice takes a long, long time. In certain areas under the bridge,
there's certain areas that don't.
No,
because running, moving water doesn't quite freeze as solid as the more still water. Yeah, exactly. And so definitely know your trails.
A warning.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, it is also, because it's winter, flu season.
Very big time.
You got some numbers for us.
Well, I don't have like as much numbers as I do facts, that we are getting hit probably the most that we've ever been hit in years with the influenza.
Yes. And now, did you get a flu shot? I did not.
Can I tell you that, and I'm really ashamed to say that I did not. And my husband almost chases me around and you know, just wants to shake me because I don't.
Right.
But I don't.
No.
And yet I recommend that other people do.
Exactly.
Isn't that terrible?
Well, there is definitely, there is categories of people who are definitely at higher risk, right, if they were to catch the flu.
Yes.
And definitely children and the elderly, and if your immune system is compromised in any way.
Yeah, or if you're chronically ill, or if you're pregnant. And they say, I asked my husband, how young do you have to be to get a flu shot? And he said they start giving them at 6 months old.
Oh, you're kidding.
Yes. And prior to that, they have the immunity from their mother.
Right.
Right.
I would think the dosage of whatever it is they administer would be geared towards the smaller person, or, you know what I mean? I don't know. I'm not a doctor.
But the deaths are happening with
there's
children.
Deaths, not just people getting the flu. The highest number in years is what's happening right now. And there's deaths coming along with it that are higher than usual.
It's very scary.
It is.
So, I mean, I have had the flu shot. And,
you have?
Yes, I've had it. Not this year, but there's still time to get the flu shot.
Oh, there is. Okay, it's not too late?
No, it's not too late to get the flu shot.
Yeah, so, because flu shots are down as well. That's the other thing about these numbers, is that flu shot numbers are down.
So the flu is going up. The numbers are going up.
Yeah, exactly.
Alberta
so you can't help but think.
Saskatchewan are getting really hard hit too, and there have been a lot of children dying. A lot of children under the age of 4. That seems to be like under 4. There's a lot of fatalities. You're hearing about that a lot. And the flu shot itself, once you're given that shot, it takes about 2 weeks for the antibody to kick in. So that
it does?
Yes. So you can still,
you're
people
kidding.
say, well, I had the flu shot, but I still have the flu. They're thinking that's just, I shouldn't have gotten it. But that's not the case.
That's not the
They
case.
might have contracted the virus while they've had the flu shot, and it hasn't had its effect on the body.
I didn't realize that would take 2 full weeks to build up its immunity against it. So is it better to get it early in the year?
Before it hits your community, yes. So if you know that it's flu season, that you're hearing tell of it, get that flu shot before it's a big outbreak everywhere.
Exactly.
And you're up
That's
against
just
all
it.
these people you're working with and out in public touching things that people have touched,
No.
etc.
No, teachers and nurses, and where you,
Home
if you're
caregivers.
working, yeah, exactly, in an area where you're exposed to a large number of people,
Healthcare.
elderly, or yes, definitely,
Nurses,
for sure.
doctors, the teachers that are around the children all the time.
No, that's because I'm thinking that the way that would work is, because if I worked in that profession, I keep thinking, oh, I don't need it, I'm not. But I could be, because I'm not in any of those risk brackets, I can still be a carrier and give it to,
Yes.
correct?
Yes. And it lasts,
Yeah.
once you're administered that flu vaccination,
Right.
it's good for about 6 months in your system. Like it
Oh, is
stays
it?
in there before the
Okay.
antibodies start to wear off again, lose its
I see.
effectiveness.
Okay.
Yeah, and you can eat healthy, certainly. We're going to talk about that a little bit with one of our guests, but eating
Yes.
healthy, protecting yourself, washing your hands. My parents both had the flu very badly over the Christmas holidays and are just
Oh.
recovering. So sensibly, I wore a mask anytime I would go to them or near them and then wash my hands. And I
Definitely.
take vitamins, I take echinacea, I take the oregano oil. I do what I can do.
No, exactly.
So if I
I'd
was
have
an
to
unhealthy
say,
person, I would have to get the flu shot if I was very
yeah.
run down.
Well, I would have to say that, yeah, with my active lifestyle now in the past couple of years and being a lot more active in the gym, as well as having a full-time job and business and children, I definitely, unbeknownst from before, I actually have the little pill container box that goes Sunday to Saturday, and I have all my supplements and all my vitamins and every little thing,
Wonderful.
because I know doing those kinds of things and being that active can lower my immunity. So
Totally.
you have to
Build it
replace
up.
it, build it up, and keep it in top-notch form.
I eat a lot of oranges and I eat a lot of fruit in the winter. You know,
Oh, do
it's
you?
not
Yeah,
the
the
fresh fruit
vitamin
that you get in
C.
the summer, but I do
No.
find a lot of
No.
really good
Yeah,
quality
vitamin
food.
C, I had my little bout with the vitamin C being actually severely depleted of vitamin C, and that's a huge,
It
huge
is.
thing.
Very important.
Because when I went to go have my little surgery, that threw a big wrench in everything, and none of us were aware of that was an issue. So yeah, vitamin C, big, huge,
Yeah.
definitely.
So
Get into
Audrey,
that.
did you have a quiet weekend or a busy weekend?
Busy.
Busy.
It's always busy. Weekend, kids going somewhere and doing something along with work and trying to get to the gym myself, and children wanting to go here, go there, have friends over.
Wow.
So my house is just non-stop. You?
I had a really quiet weekend. And
Quiet?
It's for one weekend in my entire year. I think it was a lovely, quiet weekend. I had no pressing engagements to take part in, and it was very nice because now that our sons are out of the home, we love to have them come back, of course, to stay with
Yes.
us whenever they can. But my husband and I, it's like your husband and yourself, or anyone that has a partner or somebody living with them. It's that comfort zone that allows you to sit in the same room and not have to talk. You could be
No.
reading a book, he could be watching TV, and there's no need for that pressured conversation because you're together for so long that you're like best friends.
No, exactly.
And
That's
then
just
on
it.
the other aspect, or the other hand, if you want to talk about something, like discuss your children's future with them or things about
Any
parenting,
kind of
you can
adult
talk
conversation that you want to have, you can have it more openly and freely.
freely, and without anyone weighing in on it or saying something that might be inappropriate in front of the children that may hurt their feelings, which is
No,
not
or
the
even
case,
if you're
but
talking
anything.
about financing or
Yes,
house or
personal
any,
stuff.
any kind of thing that you try to have that
Yeah.
conversation without the kids present or other company.
Right.
Must have been in shock. Did you realize that you guys were going to be like alone? Did you?
It was not a shock. It was just a pleasant surprise. And
Yeah.
to cook and say, what would you like? And we can come up instead of saying, well, the kids don't like that when they're home, so I'm not going to have salmon or whatever.
Yeah.
Then you can say, oh, well, let's cook this, or let's
Yeah.
have this, or let's do this. Let's watch this.
Yeah.
You know,
I look forward to those days.
Yeah.
I do. A lot of people are telling me, oh, when they're all gone, you're going to be sad, and I'm like, I'm not there yet. I'm still at the phase where I'm
Busy.
looking forward to things quieting down, and then coming home from work and going, oh,
I know.
it's quiet.
They all come back, though, which is a real treat, and
Yes,
you have
it
to
is.
love that.
Well, then, yeah, for sure. Then you get to actually plan and enjoy their company. And not that I don't enjoy my kids' company right now. It's just busy.
Just wanted to go over a few little things. Sometimes parents ask Audrey and I on the street, what are some of the things that we do to help ensure that our children have a good or have had a good upbringing? And there are some things, Audrey, actually, that I've researched that tend to actually make a person a better parent because there are mistakes that people do make.
Oh, I don't doubt I've made some.
So one of the mistakes that people make is either to involve themselves or over-involve themselves in their kids' lives. And this happens for a few reasons. So many people, for example, take a vow that my child, I will never give them the same strict upbringing that I had when I was a kid. So I'm going to give them free reign. Because I don't want them to be tied down to discipline like I had.
No, because they remember it as being I was never allowed to go, do, or anything. It was too strict.
Right. So you might have had a childhood like that where you weren't allowed to do anything. So you said to your kid, you do it because you go do what you want to do because I wasn't allowed. Then they have too much access to everything, and it can come back at you.
Yeah, exactly.
What
else are they saying? So that's considered to be one of the things that it's too much or
too little.
Or too little.
Yeah.
And still being in the throes of all of that right now with myself, because the older two are 22 and 25, and the younger two are 15 and 17. So I'm still in the throes of teenagers where I know I can still freshly remember what I've done with the older two and see if I can't fine tune it better with the next two, right? Kind of thing. So,
but if you were deprived of a child, like say you were a deprived child and you weren't allowed to have this treat and that treat, you weren't allowed to have friends in, then you're going to give that again to your child that's growing up to say, look, you can eat what you want, you can have as many friends as you want, and then you can be too permissive.
I feel like my parents parented us pretty fairly.
Yes, mine did.
I feel like it was, you know what I mean? At the time, I probably didn't, you know, not being allowed to go and do, but I remember being allowed to do things, but also having some rules and guidelines.
Same.
And I'm a huge believer in that they're children. They're still children, and it's our job to raise them to be mature, responsible, respectable adults that can stand on their own 2 feet.
That's exactly one of the things that makes a good parent.
I feel like that's my job. And I'll be friends with them when they're older.
And another one is not getting to know your child. So sometimes parents assume that they know their children better than they know themselves. There's nobody knows anybody better than they know themselves. You can say to your daughter, you know that you're down whenever this happens and that, and she might not feel that way at all. You have to listen to your child.
You do.
And get the feedback from them instead of telling them what they are probably feeling like, or you must be depressed because you got that terrible mark. Yeah. Maybe they're not. Maybe they're going to be tougher.
Okay. Well, we've got a great show lined up for you. Don't go away. We'll be back with more Have a Chat after the break. Welcome back to Have a Chat. Joining us now is our first guest, Courtney Patriquin, who's a dietitian here in Miramichi. Hello, Courtney.
Thanks.
How are you?
Thank you for having me. It's happy to be back.
Well, it's a good time.
It's been a little while.
Good time for you to be back.
It's a good time for you to be back,
January,
definitely.
New Year's resolutions.
You would be busy girl.
Yes. Lots of people who are, new year, new me, embarking on lots of health goals, whether it be food or fitness, who are looking for some more guidance.
Exactly. And you got your flu shot?
Always. I get my flu shot every year.
Okay.
I work in healthcare. I work with the elderly as well. So it's very important, not as much to protect me with the flu shot, but to protect my residents, to protect staff, to protect the littles in my life as well. So lots of good reasons to
exactly.
to get
That's
vaccinated.
just it. Not to spread it around. Like you said, not so much for yourself. You get the flu shot
for everyone.
Others.
Yeah, for everyone around me.
That's just it. Well, thanks for joining us today. We're sort of excited to get chit-chatting with you about everything that you have to share with information. So first up, tell us a little bit about who you are.
So I'm a registered dietitian. I've been one for about 5 years now.
Okay.
I moved home last year and started my business. So it's an individual consulting business where I work with clients one-on-one on their health goals. So anywhere from digestive health issues to diabetes, cardiovascular disease, weight management, you name it. And
wow, that must have been a big course that you took to become a dietitian. You have to touch on all the possibilities.
Yeah, so it's a 4-year degree.
It is? Okay.
So you do a bachelor's of science in human nutrition, and then you have to do a huge process to apply for an internship where you get to work for free for a year.
Okay.
And you work in hospital, you work in long-term care, you work in community, you work all over the place to learn, learn from other dietitians to get the experience, and then work with clients. Yeah,
which is a great X ring there. I love it.
Yes, St. FX grad.
Family, my husband's family have been there, so
yes.
I want to have some.
Loved X.
Yeah, because there's like when it comes to the dietitian part, I can just imagine like the theory and the science of it all. You can learn and take in, but until you take that to the real deal,
to learn people, and they try and teach us counseling and motivational interviewing and all sorts of counseling strategies, but really until you kind of dive into it and start doing it, that's when you learn. And honestly, I always say I'm half dietitian, probably half psychologist, because there's lots of times that I see clients and we don't ever touch on food, because food has such an emotional impact on us as well. I think
it can be a huge mental
absolutely
thing too,
we think of food as fuel for our body, which absolutely it is, and I'm sure our next guest will talk about their fuel, but food is also comfort, and it's joy, and it's tradition, and it's love, and it's so much more than just the food that you put in your mouth and the nutrients that you eat.
On that note then, so if I was to come to you and I was a woman that was carrying extra weight and I was not happy with my body and my body image, I would sit down with you and I would say, I want to have a goal to be a better, healthy me.
Yes.
And what would you suggest that I do? You incorporate, obviously, the right food plan and exercise. Would you like to take it from there?
Yeah. So I practice in a non-diet scope, which is obscure for, I think, a lot of people to think of. I think when they think of dietitian, they think of meal plan and strictness and eat this and don't eat that. And after many years of doing that, I realized that was doing no service to my clients, and it was actually doing harm.
Okay. Because that was the way you were doing it initially, was it?
Initially for the first, not for long.
Okay.
Not for long. I worked in diabetes care prior to my private practice. It was in northern Manitoba, so there's a little bit more lenience with that. When I first came home, I was building up my clientele, was getting my name out there. I was doing meal plans and a little bit more strictness for body composition changes.
Right.
And I hated it. It did not make me feel good. I did not enjoy seeing those clients because I didn't like the strictness of it. I didn't like the negative tone that it had with you can only eat this and you're not allowed to eat that. Because what happens when we say, don't eat it? Well, it's like telling a 2-year-old not to touch the red button. Like, they're going to want to touch it. And when you tell adults not to eat the food, they're going to want to eat it. And then finally, when they do eat it, it's not just that little portion that satisfies that craving. It's a portion and a half, and then on top of that, and then it
and then mentally they feel bad, and then they have to tell you, and then you have to reprimand them. Back and forth.
So to cut right to the chase, how did you get around that? How do you manage that?
So working in a non-diet scope is weight loss is never my goal for my clients. Though as a client, your goal might be weight loss. Fantastic. As a side effect of seeing me, you will probably experience weight loss, but I want to see your clothes fitting better. I want to see you have increased energy. I want to see changes in your medication, typically a reduction. I want to see you sleeping really well. I want to see you have better stress management. Exercise, absolutely. Those are my goals for you, and if weight comes off, fantastic. But ultimately, I want you to be feeling better. And a lot of my weight loss clients in taking this have come back and said, you know what, I've lost 10 pounds and I feel great, but you know what I love more? I love that I don't take a blood pressure medication anymore. And I love that I have the energy to get up and go to the gym every day. And I love that I get to sleep 8 hours a night.
That's really nice. How do they sleep 8 hours a night? Please tell.
They don't have snowplows.
Inquiring minds want to know.
Night. I love the city staff. Thank you for plowing us out, but it went all night. So anyway.
Trying to get caught up.
Yeah. And when I see clients, and it's with New Year's resolutions, big right now. I personally am not a New Year's resolutioner.
No.
I don't love New Year's.
No.
But I think people set themselves too big of goals or non-specific goals. So when clients come in, they say, I want to be healthier, right? That's a goal, but it's not a great goal. Because what does that mean? What does being healthier mean to you, right?
Big umbrella.
So we talk about SMART goals. And I think everyone who set a New Year's resolution should set a SMART goal resolution, right? So think about being specific. So I want to be healthier, but what does being healthier mean to you, right? Someone might say, well, I want to eat more vegetables. Okay, that's a good goal.
Yeah, but especially if you don't eat any.
Especially if you don't eat.
Because I know people like that.
Exactly. But again, how do you measure that, right?
Yes.
So maybe they'll say, oh, I want to eat, 7 servings of vegetables a day.
Oh.
Okay, that's a good goal. But if you're going from no vegetables to 7 servings a day,
how attainable is that?
Yes, exactly.
Overkill.
Are you setting yourself up for failure off the get-go, right? So be very specific in your goal. With the gym
So making
and the fitness,
smaller goals when you say specific?
smaller, yes.
Attainable?
Attainable, right? You want to make sure that you're going to be able to succeed at these goals, right? So if you're going in saying, oh, I'm never going to be at 7 servings of vegetables a day, you're going to fail. And
feel
how do
dismal.
you feel when you fail?
Dismal.
No.
You don't feel
You
motivated
think,
or
why
confident.
bother, and you go for the cake.
Exactly, right? So we want to set a specific goal. So maybe instead of 7 servings of vegetables a day, we say, you know what, I'm going to have a serving of vegetables for a snack every day. Right?
It could be carrots with a little bit of ranch dip.
Exactly.
Or celery with
cucumbers and
cheese.
cheese or celery.
Now, would
whatever
you
it might
set a
be.
time frame as well? Does that help, or does that go overboard a little bit? If, like you said, okay, just for the next month or the next 30 days, I'm going to try and add
one serving, right?
One serving.
See how that goes. And then you're probably going to say, oh, that was
That
easy.
was
I
pretty
really
easy.
liked my carrot sticks
Right.
for a snack. I'm going to add a vegetable now for supper, right?
Right.
And then do that for a little while. And when that becomes normal, we can add another serving of
like
vegetables,
that.
say at
Yeah.
lunchtime.
I like the idea of adding something healthy as opposed to worrying about taking away something that's
Never.
not healthy.
Exactly.
Because when you start adding those healthier things,
You're not
those
hungry
other
for
things
the
fall off your plate.
Exactly.
They really do.
Yeah.
True.
And I focus a lot on hunger and fullness in my practice as well,
Okay.
and part of kind of that mindful and intuitive eating. Because most of us suck at knowing how hungry we are and knowing how full
true.
we are, right? So we know the extremes of starving
Yeah.
and the overly uncomfortably full. And what we want to do is kind of narrow in that scale a little bit and start eating when we're comfortably hungry and finishing when we're comfortably full.
Yeah, like don't grocery shop when you're really
Don't ever
hungry.
do that.
Ever.
And
No,
I
that's a
have
no-no.
done that.
Yeah.
And my bill is just
That's just
exorbitant.
It is.
And then we get a whole lot of food that we don't actually need, right?
Exactly.
So we want to be specific with our goals. We want to be measurable with our goals. So be able to really count, okay, so this week I did get all those snacks in. Great. Fantastic. When we think about our goals, we want to be something that's attainable. So don't set yourself up for failure,
Okay.
Don't
Okay.
go from never going to the gym to telling yourself you want to go to the gym 7 days a week.
So
Yes.
is that, you would consider this to be one of the common failures that people,
Absolutely.
too much,
Too much too soon,
big,
right?
okay.
Yeah, the other one would be setting goals that you feel like you should do and not setting goals that you actually want to do. Right? So I
Okay.
think a lot of people, oh, I want to eat more vegetables or I want to go to the gym when really it's, I feel like I should eat more vegetables and I feel like I should go to the gym.
It's a dreaded chore.
It's a dreaded
it's
chore.
a task that
It's a
is just
task.
an
The way you
unpleasant-
look at it totally reflects on how you respond to it.
Exactly. When eating vegetables feels like an obligation,
Yeah.
you don't have a positive
No.
experience
No.
eating those. So it's not
No.
going to help promote you continuing with that
So
change.
true.
No.
There's a lot of psychological aspect to all of
There
this.
is.
Absolutely.
So I'm going to gear and change it a little bit just because in the last couple of years, now you said you've been a dietitian for 5 years. Are you noticing a huge shift or change with Canada's food guide and the way, because keto is huge, they're starting to add more of these healthier fats. They're actually, I'm seeing and reading, changing even diabetics or Crohn's patients to eating this way for just small increments of time in
Yeah.
order to get a
Yeah.
handle on their problems.
Yeah, keto's huge. I stand by keto. I just did an interview with CBC the other month about that. Keto works for some and it will not work for others.
Right.
The same as any other dietary
Same as
pattern.
the gym works for some,
Exactly.
but walking works
you
better
really
for others.
need to find something that works for you.
Okay, so
Right.
tell me, Audrey loves it. Why might I not enjoy it?
It might just not fit your lifestyle. You may not like eating that much fat. You may not feel as good eating that much fat. You might really value time with friends eating pizza.
Oh, so
I
it's
don't
a
know.
Okay, see, I don't know much about the keto
Yeah.
diet. That's why I'm saying what
Yeah.
it entails might not be conducive to my.
Yeah.
To your lifestyle.
my liking,
yeah,
too.
absolutely.
But
yeah.
I believe that the Canada's food guide is changing somewhat.
I wouldn't
Or
say
is
it's
it-
going anywhere towards keto.
Oh, no.
But
I'd agree
it is,
with
it's
that. But are
definitely
they,
changing.
Okay.
We're looking at Canada's food guide going more towards how we eat instead of specifically what we eat. Because for the last 7 revisions of Canada's Food Guide, it's been very much so nutrient based, where these are your servings of vegetables, these are your servings of grains, these are your servings of meat, these are your servings of dairy.
I mean, they even teach it right in school to the children
Yes.
when they're young, right?
You'll have this, you should have this. It's been forever.
And there's a lot of negative thoughts around Canada's Food Guide, and honestly, I mean, I've never met anyone who follows it, so you can't say that it's not a good guide when no one's actually using it. No.
So what do you think of me personally, that I eat 6 small meals a day?
Perfect.
You like that?
Yeah. 6 small meals, 7 small meals, 3 big meals, 2 big meals.
I can do 7 small meals a day.
Whatever works for you.
And I like it.
Whatever.
I'm a very active person.
Yes.
I don't have a lot of time to just sit and eat.
Big
I eat really nice food, and I like my treat when I want it too. If I want to have a chocolate bar in the morning, I'm going to have my chocolate bar. But I will run with my yogurt in the morning with my grain, and then I might grab some fruit and a yogurt bar, and then I might have like a salad, and then I might have a banana in the afternoon, and then I might have a cashews and throw that in with some apple. Or then at supper time, I'll have another small meal, like maybe a little bit of rice, vegetable, chicken. Maybe at night I'll have popcorn, or if I want my bag of chips, I'll have my bag of chips.
Exactly. It's what works for you, and I think we've become very restrictive and very prescriptive about diets, where everyone needs to be keto, or everyone needs to be low carb, or everyone needs to be vegetarian or vegan or paleo, or oh my gosh.
Yeah.
There's
well,
so
that's just
much.
it. Anybody who's looking to get healthier must be just overloaded and bombarded with which
most
road
of my
do
clients
I
who
take?
come and say, I just need you to help me because I can't Google any more things because I'm confused.
It's too much.
Because there's too much. So you really should meet with a dietitian to find out what's going to work best for you, because we're going to sit with you, we're going to learn about your schedule, your life, your kids, your family, your spouse, your extracurricular activities, everything that you do, to find a plan that's specific to you and what you're going to be able to do and succeed at. We don't want to see you fail.
No.
So how important is this? Is an old question from way back, and I actually recently watched a video. I believe it was a doctor or a dietitian talking about the importance of breakfast. Whether you have it at 8 in the morning, 10, or noon, irrelevant is what she's saying. Whenever your breakfast is, or your first meal of the day, it is extremely important what that is.
Is that true?
Is that true?
Well,
in your experience.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, I know we're breakfast pushers, but I'm not a breakfast pusher. Some people wake up and they genuinely just don't feel hungry.
I have 2 out of my 4 kids that are like that. They just can't eat within that first hour. They're more I have to wait.
Now,
but it's what I want them to put in their body when they are ready. That's the way I changed it. I'm like, okay, but the first thing you put in
should be something nutritious.
Yes, exactly.
We want some protein. We want
because
some
you've been
carbohydrates.
fasting all night.
Eggs.
You've been fasting all night. Your body is in starvation mode. You must give it the things that it needs.
And it's important to recognize, especially with busy adults. I have a lot of people who come and say, oh, I'm not hungry in the morning, I don't eat. And it's, are you not hungry, or are you just too busy to think about your hunger? So what I find with adults is that they wake up and they've got
too busy.
They've got stuff to do. They've got 45 things on their list that they're running through their head, that it's not that I'm not hungry, it's that I just don't have time to eat right now.
I'm just not
so
I bet everybody else, and their lunches are all made, and they're all out the door, and I'm like, oh, an hour and a half has gone by, and I still haven't eaten.
And I got to go, right?
Yep.
So, and it just takes that a little bit of assessment to actually think about, okay, am I hungry? Do I need food? Or am I not?
I'm not hungry enough when I wake up, but then I get to be.
And either is fine. And whatever meal you have, we want that to be a balanced meal. We want there to be protein. We want there to be carbohydrates. We want there to be some fiber. We want there to be some good heart-healthy fats to help with satiation and keep you full for a long amount of time.
So, Courtney, you must love the shake idea, do you? Of putting everything in there, from the kale to the almond.
If it's a well-balanced shake.
That's what I'm saying, with the spinach and the kale and whatever berries.
It works for a lot of people. For me, I don't do smoothies.
No.
I try. I could care less. They're just not for me. I really like eggs and toast.
Yeah, my kids now. I had to go. Okay, juice and berries. What else is in that? Because that's not
a smoothie.
The crash you're going to come
it's
after.
a lot of carbohydrates.
Like add some yogurt to it. Add some peanut butter to it. Add something that's
add some
little
spinach
oatmeal.
or
something that's going to
help keep you full. To make it a meal.
because in an hour. That's not going to
exactly. Yeah. So when we talk about smoothies, we want to make sure that they've maybe got some veg in there. They've got some fruit. They're
They wouldn't even
The
notice the
protein.
spinach or the peanut butter or any of those things when you've got the berries in there. They really
exactly.
don't. So
the color's kind of icky, but
it is.
just
it's
ignore
not pretty.
it. Just ignore it.
It can be.
What else is crucial to this, the viewers and
Because
for
we
us?
want to make sure everybody gets your contact information
Yes.
before we go. Because
Yeah.
yes, we are running out of time.
Yeah. So you can find me either Call Peak Performance Health Center, and I'm usually there, or they can book an appointment. You can also find me on Facebook at Courtney Patrick with Nutrition and Wellness. Either send me a message or my contact information is on there as well.
Okay.
And I also post some funny things. So
Good.
Oh, do you?
I rant a little bit.
No,
On
but
your
you're-
Facebook page
Yes,
for this?
a lot of rants.
Okay,
Yes.
so if we like your page, will we also get some fun facts and
Fun
nutrition
facts,
ideas
nutrition
and different
advice,
things like
meal
that?
ideas,
Great.
snack
Oh,
ideas,
that's
all sorts of
fantastic.
information is on there, and really just a down-to-earth look at nutrition and diet. Because I think,
Exactly.
we're in a pretty world that's very obsessed with it, and there's a
Perfect.
lot of
Overkill about
not so
things.
great information.
Right. We
Yeah,
need
that's
all
just it.
need
That's right.
Courtney in our life.
Definitely. Thank you so much,
Thank
Courtney,
you.
for joining us.
Yes,
Thanks for
awesome.
all the interesting information, and we look forward to having you again.
Wonderful.
you.
Okay, we'll
Great.
be right back after the break with more Have a Chat. Don't go away. And we're back with more Have a Chat. Joining us now are these three beautiful ladies. Our next guests, we have Caitlin McGraw, Kaylee McGraw, and Ashley McKinley. Hello, ladies.
Welcome.
Welcome
Thank
to
you.
the show.
Champions that they are.
Yes, they are. So you're here to chat with us today a little bit about the James M. Hill Tommy's soccer and the championship and everything. But first we want you girls to tell us about yourselves and let our viewers know who you are. So we'll start with you, Caitlin.
Okay, so my name's Kate McGraw, and I'm one of the teachers at Max Aiken Academy. I just recently moved back from Fort McMurray, and I was born and raised in Miramichi. So I'm really excited to be back and to be back in the sports realm and to be helping these awesome girls to achieve the things that they're more than capable of.
Because you're the coach for the
Yeah.
team, right?
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
you teach grade 4, you told me?
Yeah, I teach grade 4 at Max Aiken Academy, French Immersion.
Brand new school.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah, and I've got an awesome little class, so
Great.
yeah, I'm
So you
excited
teach
to be
at
back.
one school, but you're coaching at James M.
Yeah.
Hill for the soccer team,
Yeah.
correct?
Yeah.
Okay, definitely. And Kaylee?
I am in grade 12, and I'm Caitlin's sister. So we kind of have a nice little
In case our
bond.
viewers are wondering if they look alike, they do.
Do you find I don't?
I don't find we
I
look
don't
alike.
find they do.
Siblings will always say that.
Oh, what a cool thing that you're a player and she's the coach and your siblings. I think that's
Yeah.
just awesome.
Yes. And then we have Ashley McKinley.
I'm a grade 12 at James and Hill, and I'm the goalkeeper for the James and Hill soccer team.
Rolling.
Sweat marks. It's a hard job. Too.
It is. It is
They're
definitely
all
for
hard
sure.
jobs.
Yeah.
So you two are graduating this year.
Yeah, we
It's
are.
an
Yeah.
exciting
So
year.
this is, we want to say thank you for coming because we know this is the last week before exams and you guys are gearing up with your reviews and things like that. And thank you for coming and talking to us today about how, you guys made out provincial champions. Yes,
Yeah.
definitely.
First time ever in James M. Hill history, so.
Oh, that's
wow.
the most exciting
Yeah.
thing to be able to
Look,
share
I
with
have
people.
goosebumps.
Yeah.
I actually have goosebumps.
The first graduating class of James and Hill was 1972. So that's a really huge accomplishment.
Yeah.
Yes,
Wow.
definitely. So
I'm
how did you
impressed.
get involved with being the coach? Now you moved back.
Yeah, so
Someone hunt you down?
kind of, sort of, I guess. So I moved back over the summer from Alberta, and I had previously coached these girls when they were in grade 9.
I see. Okay.
And I had coached a little bit with Chris Fanjoy. We were both assistant coaches back then, so I had heard that Chris was going to be the new head coach, and so he had kind of reached out to me, and I was talking to him, and so he was like, if you're going to be around, like, I totally want you to be here. And so at that point, I was kind of unsure if I had a full-time position for the fall, but everything kind of worked out the way that it should have, and
Yes.
so I'm more than happy to give back to the team that I started out with, and which helped shape who I was, and going forward and playing in university, it really prepared me for it.
You were an athlete, though, weren't you? A top athlete growing up, and didn't you take an Athlete of the Year award in what year at Jameson Hill?
So I graduated in 2008, and that was the year that I got Female Athlete of the Year.
It's quite a thing. I've never been a female athlete, and I never would. No, not my
I'd
wildest
have to-
dreams would
I'd
I've
have
ever
to
be
be
a female
athletic.
athlete.
I would have had to play sports in order for that to happen. I didn't.
So it's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And you girls now, this is the first year my youngest daughter, actually, Danae, is in grade 9, and she actually tried out for the soccer team in those first 3 days. She actually hurt herself and actually pulled a groin to the point where it was noticeably bruised, and so she wasn't able to do. But soccer is her thing, so I told her, I said, look after it. Next year's another year to try out. She still loves it, loves to run. She loved running around with you guys, and just for the tryouts and things like that. So tell us a little bit about what it was like practicing with your sister and having her coach you, because everybody wants to know that part for sure.
For the most part, we get along pretty well. I think it's because the big age difference. We're 10 years apart. So
oh yes, that's right.
It's easier to get along with each other because we're both kind of
Nothing to fight about.
No.
exactly.
Yes.
Like, she's not stealing my clothes or anything. So it's not like, I steal hers, but anyways, we had a couple times where there was some tension, but I think it's because we're too much alike.
Yeah.
Oh, it has more to do with that than the fact that
But we
you're
never
siblings.
brought it home with us. We left
Good.
it at practice. So.
Good. You girls have been playing. I know Caitlin's been playing since you were a young girl,
Yeah.
as well as you two. You've been playing since kindergarten or grade 1. When did you start playing?
I was around 5 years old when I started.
Oh, with the soccer. Now, have you ventured to tried other sports as well, but soccer's your thing?
I also play basketball and volleyball at Jameson Hill.
Oh, you do?
Athlete.
Yeah.
Wow, well-rounded.
Natural athlete.
Natural athlete, she's
Yeah.
saying. Are you a natural athlete as well? What age did you start playing soccer?
I was about 5 years old.
All right.
I'm more of a one sport kind of girl. I just joined
put it
rugby
on.
last year, and I really like it, but soccer's kind of my
All right.
thing.
So you've always played together?
Yeah, we've always been on the same team since we were around 10 years old. That's
my
when
goodness.
our teams were coming together and being competitive. But throughout
We
our
went
4 years-
from when we first started out, we were getting beat 12-0, 15-0 blowouts. So
When you were children,
Oh.
like
When
young,
we were
young.
young.
Middle
Yeah.
school and playing at this level,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
And getting a realization that, ooh, we got to bring this up a notch if we want to be.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
how did that happen? Take us through when you got to be, heading towards the big games where you were winning titles and coming together really strong.
We have a really good group of seniors this year. There were 6 of us, so
Good.
all of us really took a leadership role and rounded up the girls to get it all together and pull off the big wins to make it to where we are.
Yeah.
And they all contributed very well, and everyone got along very well. There was
That's
no
so important.
conflict on the team. Everyone was happy to be there and wanted to be there.
It's really important.
So it made it so much easier just to practice and have fun with it.
Good combination of
Yeah.
skill, chemistry,
Yeah,
and
really.
also, knowing each other and their moves and getting used to how they play off of each other.
Yeah.
To come
Now,
together.
Kate,
we
did
knew we
you?
could trust each other with them.
Yeah.
Trust.
Exactly. Now, Kate, did you have specific ways or techniques that you wanted to go in with this team and take them to this level? Because this has never happened before.
Yeah. So it's actually kind of funny because when these girls were playing in the summer, so they were playing a U18 league, I was talking to one of the parents of the girls on the team, and we were saying how this team's more than capable. I think it was actually your mom and Nomi. And we were saying how we think this team's more than capable of winning a championship, and there's
Right.
no reason why we shouldn't, because we have
Great.
an amazing goalkeeper and we've got amazing midfielders and incredible strikers. So in order to put it all together, I guess I knew these girls before, obviously I knew Kaylee, but the rest of the girls I've known for a while as well. So I think that's really important, is just having that bond and that connection with your players and knowing
Right.
that you have their back no matter what.
And you just said you had the belief that it could happen. If you
Yeah.
believe that something can happen, there's no reason why it can't.
Yeah.
Determination and believing in this team to do it, you did it.
Yeah, and these girls just have so much passion for the game, and like Ashley said, they just all got along so well that they really made it easy. So it was just a matter of having a few technical things.
Yeah, I'm wondering about the practice itself and
Yeah,
the drills.
we really
what would be a typical practice?
We really
like?
upped the intensity.
Oh,
So
you
there was a
did? Okay.
point where we kind of hit a little bit of a valley. We were having a little bit of a hard time, so we had to kind of dig out of that. So we upped the intensity of practice, and like Ashley said, the grade 12 girls just kind of took the reins, and they were able to really rally the girls, and Yeah, so
Let them know and believe that they could
Exactly.
have this if they wanted it.
yeah, so we would start out practices just the same way. So they would always do their warm up and things like that, and then we would get into possession. So possession meaning like you're keeping the ball between your players essentially.
Okay.
And so working on individual skill as well as a team. So that really, in the long run, was what helped us be successful.
So how many teams were you competing with when you're saying you won the provincials? Who were you up against?
We can't remember who we
We
played.
played
in the
against
semifinal.
Nakawik in the
Okay.
semifinal. And then we played against Southern Victoria in the final game. So that was in the provincials, which was hosted in Petit Rocher.
All right.
And then we had regionals, which was like the qualifiers for
Right.
provincials.
Yes.
That was held in Campbellton. So we had to play against Shediac, and we beat them 6-1. And it was actually kind of funny because when we rolled in, it was super cold. It was when it started to get like really brisk outside.
Yeah.
And we rolled in, and this team's got like this big heater on the bench, like blowing on them. And we just have these like little hand warmers and trying to keep warm. And anyway, so they kind of had this big show going on. And meanwhile, we kicked their butt.
But I
And,
want to know about that final game because I just get caught up in the excitement of it all. Your nerves are rattled. You're in for the win. You know you've got to perform, but keep it cool at the same time. So tell us about that big
Last game.
final championship game from the beginning to the end. Each take a turn.
Honestly, the semifinal was probably our tougher game.
Yeah.
Because it was right in the morning. It was raining, windy, and everything. Like when I was sliding in my box, there was puddles sliding through mud. It was just
Nasty.
awful. So then,
Yeah. Some of the
So-
worst conditions,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
really, yeah.
Yep.
And then they scored on us pretty early, like in the first half, I think it was. And then we came back, and I think that's when either Kaylee or Kara got our first goal to tie it up. And then again, they scored again on us, and then we went back and scored, and then went into overtime, and then after that, we were in a shootout. So then,
wow.
Parents are all like, oh,
my
yeah,
yeah, you know.
Yep.
yeah.
At
So
this point, we were freezing too.
Yeah,
like,
like-
we were wet and cold and
Hard.
yeah, like I had my gloves off, had to get Kate to put my gloves back on me, couldn't move my hands.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So then everyone's nerves are going, people are crying because they're so nervous, so cold. And then after they did their first 5 shooters, and it's still tied up. So then we had
You being the goalie,
Yeah.
because you're in the
No
goal.
pressure.
You're in the net, no
Oh.
pressure.
Yeah.
Yeah, game's down to a shootout. Oh my land.
Yeah.
we made a rule like we can't say go Ashley whenever there's a shootout because it just like makes her mad.
Yeah.
Throws her off.
No, exactly.
Yeah. So then I forget who scored.
Reese scored
Yeah.
our game winner, Reese Nowlin.
Okay.
And then Ashley made a big save and won it for us, and everyone was goosebumps
Yeah.
and crying and
Yeah.
ecstatic.
And I just remember thinking like, oh no, we gotta do this again. Like we gotta like get out there and like repeat this. Like
Right.
Now, was
like-
that the next game to win it? Was that the same day?
Yeah.
Oh.
It was
few
in a
hours
couple more
apart.
hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
It was more dry outside. though.
yeah,
Yeah.
it wasn't quite as bad. So we played against Southern Victoria in the final,
Mm-hmm.
and we came up pretty strong. We just couldn't score at first, and then we had the opportunity to score on a penalty kick, and Kaylee had scored the first one, and then we
Right
had
on.
another penalty kick. So I'm not sure what happened in the box. I can't really remember, but
I think Kelly got tripped or something.
yeah,
Yeah,
that might have been what it was.
Kelly
And
tripped
so
a lot.
this is going to be. That was going to be her 4th penalty kick on the day, and she had scored all 3
Oh my.
previous to that. So
that
she stepped up
something?
and finished it off. So we
Star
were up
quality.
2-0, and yeah, the game finished 2-1.
What a game.
So we want to see
Yeah.
the banner.
Okay.
We must take a peek at the
So
banner that you
exciting.
got. It is so
Love
exciting.
to see
It is.
this winners.
Nope, that's just it.
Is
So
it
we're
upside
gonna
down?
try and swing it around so that we can see.
You girls are awesome. Then we just had the girls varsity basketball win a tournament yesterday.
Yeah,
Jameson Hill.
we just won in Rossi
Go
yesterday
girls,
as
go.
well.
That's
We've got a really core group that play both sports as well.
beautiful.
Oh, there we go.
This.
Yeah.
Lovely. And all the girls signed the back of it, I see.
Yeah.
Isn't that impressive?
So
you can
it's
say you
pretty
owned
special.
it.
Yeah,
You
we had
know,
a
you
party
were-
for it and signed
I
it.
bet you did.
Yeah.
Now that will be hung up at the school in the gym. Is that where it
Yeah.
goes?
Yep. So we're not sure when it'll be hung up yet, but
Nice,
hopefully
nice.
soon. It would be nice to kind of have all the girls there and watch it go
Yes.
up on the wall.
Certainly
and,
will be.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So just, I want to ask you, we had just had Courtney Patrick on, the nutritionist, dietitian, and so as far as pre-games and one back against the other, what is your diet regime? Because you don't want to be running on a full stomach and you do not want to be hungry because you need fuel.
Yeah.
How does that work, your food intake before games?
Usually we don't do like McDonald's or something in between. Like
We'll
we'll
do
do
Burger King.
Wait for the end for that, right?
Fried
Yeah.
chicken.
Yeah.
If we really have to, like we'll get like a grilled chicken wrap or like something that's a healthier choice.
With substance.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
We're
how would you
pretty-
start that early morning though? What did you have for breakfast on game day? Like how do you start that?
I think that morning was a pretty early morning.
Yeah.
So I remember just like waking up and mom like making me some toast and I'm going out the door. She's wishing me good luck. So then we got on the bus and like I remember having like just like a few like healthy snacks on the bus,
Right.
like an
Yeah,
apple
you
or
packed
something.
stuff for
granola
that,
snacks
right?
or
Yeah,
something.
stuff like that. Just so like I'm not like to the point where I'm full and like can't move.
That's exactly.
No.
But like I have enough energy to go out and like perform throughout the whole game.
It's a balance.
Yeah.
You need both. You need
Yeah.
both the fuel and you need the. You probably don't sleep well the night before a game either because of the stress.
Oh
Yeah.
no, I remember being like half the
We were
night
all
like
pretty excited.
just like picturing like winning the banner and like just being so excited to play.
I like that
Yeah.
picturing winning the
Yeah.
banner as opposed
Yeah.
to not winning the banner.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
we might
Positive.
lose. I like
Oh
that.
no! This year we were like we're winning it
Yeah.
because we've been
Yeah.
so close before that we were like no, we want
Yeah.
it that bad. We're
Because
gonna
in
get
our
it.
grade 10 year, we lost in the semifinals to a shootout. So I remember
So you've
going.
made it to the championships before, just never brought home.
Yeah,
a
we made it to the semifinals and
Okay.
then lost in a shootout. So in the semifinals again, when we made it to another shootout, like all of our seniors who were there for it were just like, it can't end the same way. Like we need to get it this time.
So you have the cheering squad, you have your family, you
Yeah.
have your
Yeah.
friends, you have the school body.
Yeah.
It's so exciting, and I mean, it's a personal achievement. It's an achievement for me. If I've ever seen as a mother my kids win a huge title like that.
Yes.
It's so the rewards just there. That look at how hard they've worked and paid off. But everybody's proud of you in the community. Like we're so proud of you as hosts on the show.
No, exactly.
And it's
That's
a-
just it.
And it's a great thing for them to take forward as well, like just knowing that in life that they can go and like achieve these great things if they
Right.
put their mind to it. I think it's a really good lesson just outside of sport as well.
That's just it. Well, you said you had 6 seniors, and they're going to be graduating, so you'll be looking for new recruits and rebuilding the team.
Yeah.
True.
So all those young girls out there who are interested in soccer and have a love for it, definitely go out and
For
try
sure.
out for the team because they're
Yes.
going to be needing and looking for some new recruits for
Yes.
sure.
We're looking for a repeat
Yeah.
banner for sure.
Do it
so.
again for
Yeah,
sure, for
there's
sure.
still like a strong core of girls there that are coming up. Like our grade 11s this year are like
Yes.
one of our key players. Like
Yeah.
all of them are just so great. And like people, like I've said before, like our team's like a family. Like everyone's so welcoming, like no conflict on the team, and everyone's just
important
getting
to get
along. So
along.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we want to
Brand.
thank you so much for coming on the show today.
Yes.
Thank you for
and
having us.
sharing your experience with us. And congratulations to you and
Congratulations.
all
Thank
of
you
the
so
team.
Thank you.
And good luck with exams next week, by the way.
Yes, and future soccer.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely.
Wonderful.
We look forward to hearing more stories from you, from
Awesome.
your
Sounds
from
good.
your coaching ability. Thank you for watching us here at Have a Chat today. Have a great day. We'll see you again next week.
Stay
Thanks for-
warm.
Yes.